Hey, we're back. A dinosaur story. And OBS is showing green connection, which is great. Okay, let's hey, there we go. Okay, we're back. We're back. And my Discord is loading. We back. Cool. Sorry guys, my internet is not great out here. I work out of literally a shed in the middle of the woods in rural New Brunswick. So this is what you come to expect. All right. I don't know where I stopped working on this one, but this track, all of this, my main feedback so far was to bring the vocals closer to the start so that the intro feels like it's going somewhere a little bit better. And then I think we were right up to the drop. Okay, this, I really like what this is doing. I think that the sounds, like specifically the bass synth, needs a little bit more grit. Like it kind of sounds like it's trying to be gritty, but it's not quite gritty enough. And the same goes for the drums, especially the kick. It's kind of too round, or like the whole mix is a little too soft for the style that it's doing. Also, I don't know if it's sidechained or not sidechained much. I think the track is just not quite harsh enough. It's almost too round, which is a strange, I don't usually say it needs to be more harsh, but it just needs to have a bit more edge to it. So push things a little harder. Don't be afraid to send drums through a bit of distortion, or send your synth through a little bit of distortion. See if you can find some edginess in there somewhere. And overall, it's a bit too dynamic. Like, there's stuff that kind of pokes right out at it, like the I don't know, those chord things. Yeah, I think sidechain is going to help a lot too. It might have some sidechaining on it now, but it's not enough, because you can, when that kick hits, you can feel it kind of interacting with the sub bass. Okay, kind of similar note here. There's not enough development happening to keep my attention. I think bringing in some drums, percussion, bringing in the vocals again. Yeah, like Raham said, melodically, composition, it's really strong. I really like this track. I just think that the mix and production, the kind of the technical aspects of it are holding it back, because it's got a really kind of eerie, ethereal vibe to it that's cool. And then when the drop hits, it's nice. It's like everything about the track is cool, but the production just is not keeping up to like the musicianship, I guess, if I could put it that way. So yeah, overall, I think sidechain, make sure that your breakdown sections feel like they're still evolving and moving, that we're not just kind of feeling stagnant, and then get a little bit more aggressive on the mixing and production. But yeah, dope track. Let's move on. I don't know how to say this one either, and they both start with K. Very cool. Coter B5. You. I don't know what's the title and what's the artist's name. Let's go. Again, vocals too quiet. We need those vocals up front. Okay, first of all, this section too quiet. Vocals definitely too quiet. The rest of the track, I mean, it just kind of seems like it's not really mastered if I look at the waveform. It's super, like, melodically it's cool. Vocals are cool. If it's a splice vocal, maybe try to find a local musician that would be willing to work with you and write something original. That's always far greater than splice vocals, in my opinion. But it's sounding good. It just, the vocals need to be up front. One thing I noticed in this drop section is that I'm hearing the brightness and I'm hearing the sub bass, but I'm not hearing much connective tissue. Because you have kind of the super saw wow 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 chord thing, and then you have like just the sub bass that sounds maybe like a filtered sawtooth or something. I feel like if you had like a mid bass to connect them, like kind of a distorted, doesn't have to be super in your face, but just a little something to connect the very top end to the very bottom end a little bit better, I think would be useful in this situation. Super signs. Oh my god. There's something a little dense about hold on, let me listen again. Yeah, I think it's just the sub bass that's really throwing me off. It's just so in your face. It's almost like the sub bass is being presented to me as if it was the vocalist, like it's like the main element that I'm listening to. And I think side chaining is probably going to help with that as well, but just having something that makes the sub sound like it's providing the bottom end to something else as opposed to just its own thing rocking out in the track, right? Yeah, like I don't even mind. I thought I was gonna mind this part because of the look of it, but I think it's just like it's just very quiet compared to the rest of the track. But I like what it's doing. I don't get bored with it. Every single time I look at you, I'm confounded with the truth. Again, the vocals are really buried. I don't, they're not really shining through, so I'm not like I don't want to really work too hard to hear what she's saying. Melodically, it's dope though. That drum fill it sounds like it's in the next room. That needs I just think this whole section is just very chill, almost too chill, very quiet. And then we get like this very loud drop section, which is cool. But I think maybe this could just be, everything could just come up a little bit. So it's not quite as drastic. Because when you go to like master this, that's going to be challenging to try, and you're going to either have to automate your master effects to kind of work with this massive dynamic range between this and this, or fix it in the mix, which I think is the right way to do it. Yeah, sidechain. I don't know if this has any sidechain. It doesn't sound like it has much if it does. So sidechaining is definitely going to help. And just get a little bit more aggressive with maybe some compression or something, just to, it's just too dynamic. And it might, let me just see what happens if we just send it through a limiter like nothing else. Yeah, it needs sidechaining. Sidechain, and then you can limit it harder. Bring these melodic breakdown sections up in volume, and honestly, go find a singer outside, steal them, bring them into your studio, and ask them politely to sing for you, because I would much rather hear a less polished local musician doing something original than like the most polished splice vocal. That's just me. Okay, great job though. Wow, what a brick we're looking at here. So this is Grim, JB Ghost Remix Extended oh, I thought that said Instagram. Instrumental maybe. Oh, I did that thing where I play it from the middle by accident. Okay, so far this is pretty good. It's an instrumental, so I'm assuming it had vocals at some point. Maybe this stream has a chance of not getting demonetized this time. I mean, usually it's the remixes, not that I really care, but when it first kicked in here with the bass, I find the bass is a little bit loud compared to the other stuff. Especially there's like this like background, like what is that? And there's some sounds like this that is just, it's quite harsh when you listen loud, which I am currently listening to it loud. So maybe just be careful with those like really sounds. Yeah, it just feels a little sub heavy, just a little bit. It's not too far off. And I noticed that harsh sound there again too. Also, I find moments like that are so recognizable where it goes pew, doom. Like, switch it up a little bit. Don't give us the same thing twice in a row, because it just, I don't know. It to me it just seems cheap, or it just like sounds like a fill from a sample pack. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but that's just the vibe it gives me. And that's just one producer listening to another producer's tracks. You know, a normal person probably wouldn't even notice that, but yeah, I think the mastering, like, I think the sub range being so loud is probably causing the master to get a little bit toasty. It doesn't sound bad though. It's just, it could be a little bit more refined. Somebody said I could piss on the moon to this track, and I think that might be the nicest compliment anybody's ever given to anybody. That's wicked. Yeah, again, sub range too loud. Honestly, production wise, this sounds good. Like I don't really have a whole lot of criticisms besides just that sub range being kind of overpowering. I'd like to hear it with the vocals, because I feel like we're missing a pretty big part of the track. Yeah, that's dope. Kyle, stop sending that message. It hurts my brain. This, I feel like the lead thing is maybe too in our face. I feel like the sub range and the lead thing are both doing bad things to the master limiter. Sometimes it's useful to open up your master limiter and solo different elements and see what that individual element is doing to the gain reduction. Like, see how much gain is being pulled out just from that one element. Because you might send the whole track in the limiter and you see it's doing all kinds of stuff, but maybe most of that stuff is coming from one element that you don't necessarily know is contributing to the loudness that much. So, you know, it's always nice to solo things, see what they're doing to the master limiter, and then adjust accordingly. But yeah, dope track. Pretty good mix. Turn the sub bass down, and maybe that lead could come down a little bit. But yeah, pretty good. Okay. Ezwin, a message to the future version 6.1. Wow, that's very specific. I also, sorry, Ezwin, before I start this, I am going to mention that I have to pee really bad, and at some point in the stream, I'm going to have to go do a pee stream. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that in a professional way. Okay, let's listen to Ezwin's track. It's very ominous. Yes, I do remember this one, and I really like it. Okay, Ezwin, my bathroom's right there. I'm gonna go pee. I'm gonna listen while I'm peeing, and I'll be right back in like 3 seconds. 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. feel like there's a lot of energy in the high mids in the mono specifically. Like I'm hearing, let's go back here. Yes, I wash my hands, you psychopath. Yeah, up in that 3 to 5 kilohertz. It's real. I really like this the chord progression in this one. No comment, drop pop. Okay, there's like some really sharp transients, and I just see that you said this project was made not so long after I discovered OTT. Okay, well, first of all, let's move the chat up where it's supposed to go. Sorry. I think that's probably what it is. It's the click from the OTT on the synth. Yeah, man, like, here's the thing. You said you made this like 2 years ago. I feel like if you just went in and gave it some 2022 Eswin love, you already would, like, I can tell you my thoughts, and I will, but I just think all you have to do is open it up, and you'll probably be like, ooh, I should change that and change this. Like, it's, the chords are a little dense. It's a little aggressive in the high mids. The transients are really clicking through every once in a while, which is like kind of confusing me because sometimes I think it's the kick that I'm hearing the transient on, but then it's on the offbeats too, and I'm like, oh, it must be coming from the synth. Yeah, and it's just very, there's a lot of energy in those high mids. Also, vocals would maybe be nice. Yeah, you can hear the transients, you can see the transients. I feel like the bandwidth is like infinite hertz right there. It's so extremely snappy. Oh, we got some sound design, hold on. I like what you did here, where you finally took out the do 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 do. Like I feel like that undermines some of the choppiness because it's constantly going, and when you cut to like this wub 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 thing, but that thing is still going do 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 do, it lessens the impact of the wub wub. So anyway, I definitely think that you should go back to this and open it up and save it as a new project file and just blow it apart. Just like tear it apart, get destructive with it. Because if you just go and you try to make small tweaks, I've been there many times. You go and you're like, I'm just going to go fix it. Like, nah, that doesn't work. You got to go blow it apart, or else you're just going to follow the same ruts as you did before. Go take the chords, take the drums, maybe delete half the drum. Just try some new stuff and bring it up to your 2022 Eswin standards. All right, moving on. Corrupting the population. We got Dark Days remix that totally isn't a 7-year-old project with an Ozone Auto Master slapped on. Okay. I don't understand why it has exactly 6 dB of headroom, but here we go. I mastered it again for you. Man, this is insane. Oh, something about the dark days. I was like, what is he saying about my armpits? It sounds kind of like the snares coming from my armpits, I'm going to be honest. This is insane. Like, I don't even know what's going on. Dude, he says, talking about a backing track to Pissing on the Moon. I feel like this is pissing on yourself on the moon or something. So I don't really know what to say. This is so insane. Like I like how crazy it is, but it has to be grounded in some form of reality. Like it's just so weird. I would be interested to see what you could do with this if you took it and fixed the snare, because the snare actually sounds kind of poopy. It's so like it's nasally. It sounds like my nose is congested or something. I'm not trying to shit on the track. It's a crazy track. It's insane. But the snare could be better. The bottom end is kind of out of whack. If you like made the production of it up to what you guys are capable of at this level, because you said, yeah, this is 7 years old, but it's so insane that I'd like to hear like a proper production pass at it. That is indeed a chord. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff in there. I want you to try and embrace the insanity, but ground it in some sort of modern production, you know? Like go back and fix the problems and see what it sounds like. Cause it's insane. It sounds like somebody said an LSD fever dream, and I totally feel that. So yeah. I don't know if you want and you're interested in cracking open a 7-year-old track, then I think it'd be interesting because it's insane. Thanks for setting. Cool. Moving on. Control. Helsley Loud remix. which is kind of ironic because it doesn't look super loud. Here we go. Fort Knox, hi, nice to see you. You can submit for the feedback. Wow, I'm so great at talking. On the Discord channel, it's discord.gg/FowlerMusic.
They send me away to find a fortune, a chest filled with diamonds and gold. The house was awake with shadows and monsters. The hallways, they echoed and groaned. I sat alone in bed till the morning. I'm crying, they're coming for me. And I tried to hold these secrets inside me. My mind's like a deadly disease. I'm bigger than my body. I'm colder than this home. I'm meaner than my demons. I'm bigger than these bones. And all the kids cried out, please stop, you're scaring me. I can't help this awful energy.
Yeah, okay, so I would say Cody, or sorry, a Tiny Muffin Kyle is right. It could use some like detuned kind of Reese bass underneath of it.
Cried out, please stop, you're scaring me. I can't help this awful energy. Goddamn right, you
Especially when those kicks come in, because if you listen to just the bottom end, you got nothing but kick.
goddamn right, you should be scared of me. Always in control.
Okay, so here's the thing. Look at your buildup. Look at how big the buildup is. And then look at your drop. Visually, we can't tell that this is the drop, right? So this is not only a mastering problem, but is also a mixing problem. I don't know if there is any master effects on this, but whatever this kick is, it's far louder than... Like if we just took this section and ignored how loud that was and then boosted this up, I'll turn this on. Whoa, not that much. Yeah, if we did, just straight up turned it up. Then it's not bad. It's I think it still could use some work. The like that sub bass note is kind of, I would probably put it down an octave because it's not really coming out my sub that much. It's like up an octave too high. But I like the drop. It's cool. Whoops, wrong thing. But yeah, you gotta figure out what exactly is going on. It's hard for me to say without seeing the project or without seeing, what kind of effects are happening or how things are being staged together. But yeah, overall, and again, this comes, I say this quite often, sometimes it's useful to render your track out and look at the waveform, and that can give you some clues. If you looked at this waveform, you might be like, oh shit, I forgot to do this, or I forgot to turn that kick channel down or something, right? But yeah, that's my main feedback for this. I like the chord progression. I like the production on it. It just, the mix needs to get under control. Okay, moving on. Cool. Okay, if I still, since I rendered the most recent version, which one is yours? Send it, and I'll grab it. Vivo. Okay, Bleed, Fathom. Oh, it's this one again. Okay, cool. on. Sorry, my MIDI controller's freaking out on me. Let me unplug it. Okay. This, I don't remember what my notes were on the last version you sent. The first thing that stuck out to me is that the sub bass is a bit loud. Wait. What? Is that the... Okay, let me just quickly check. Yeah, sorry. My MIDI controller is broken and it sometimes sends random pitch note or pitch commands. So I'm really sorry. That whole intro section was pitched down about half a semitone. We're good now. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, sub bass even in the right key now, but the sub bass is still, it's too loud. Yeah, when the sub comes in, we're like, whoa, but then when the sub goes away, it's the perceived volume of the whole track kind of drops down, right? I wonder what it would be like if you put in some percussive bass hits or something. Because if you think about this from a subwoofer point of view, you got like the stabs, bam, and then there's just a kick going, bam, 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 and then kick, kick, kick. There's not a whole lot happening in the sub range during those moments. And I'm not suggesting that it has to be completely crammed full 100% of the time with sub bass, but I'm just wondering if, you know, like a do-do-do-do-do-do-do kind of thing could fill up the sub a bit more. Still, my note still holds true for this. Like the sub bass still feels maybe like 3 or 4 dB too loud. It's super funky, man. I think, yeah, the bass, the sub bass too loud. That's my main note. It's maybe a bit scooped, like it could use a little bit more mid-range, low mids. There's a lot of like high mids and high frequency with the vocals and the guitar chops and the percussion and stuff. And there's a lot of really deep lows with the sub bass and the kick. There's maybe a bit of a no man's land in between there that could be filled up with a little bit. It could be a mixing thing. It could be an additional bass layer or something like that. But biggest note is, yeah, just the sub bass. It's a bit overpowering. So bring it down and keep going. Cool track. All right. Blah, 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 blah. What's next? That was that one. Bird of Bird of Passage mini skirt mix down. Damn, that sounds fancy. Let's go.
Home with y'all. I know I look fly in my mini skirt. I know I look fly in my mini skirt. I know I look fly in my mini skirt. I know I look fly in my mini skirt. I know I look fly. I know I look fly in my mini skirt. Baby, I'm not going home with y'all.
This is so interesting. Okay. Vocals need to be compressed or something. They sound very just raw recording kind of. And the whole track is kind of not mastered.
Not going home with y'all. I know I look fly in my mini skirt. I know I look fly. I know I look fly in my mini skirt.
It's really weird, but I like it.
Baby, I'm not going home with y'all.
I don't like I can't even wrap my mind around this part. There's something, yeah, I mean, sure, it's not mastered. Okay, I get that. But like, there is sub range there. It's just very low. I feel like I think the drums are the biggest thing I'm having a hard time with, because they're so small or like not very loud. So minuscule, which like it's interesting, but it doesn't really hit me, right? The kick drum isn't really cutting through. It's not really doing anything to my insides. And the snare is very like drum machine snare, like sine wave with a little bit of noise on it. Maybe if there was a more side chaining or something, I think there's lots of really cool sound design stuff happening. I like how weird the everything is, but it needs a bit more punch, which I think you'll get if you use stronger drums and more sidechain. It's so cool. Like there's so many super cool things going on. The drums just kind of suck, maybe. I don't know. I like all the little, like all the in-betweens and the percussion and stuff. I think it's just the main kick and the main snare. If the main kick and the main snare were punching through and clearly showing like where the beat was. give us a metaphor for the drums.
Mini skirt on, take my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. 2 foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on.
Okay, the snare sounds like you have a pen and you have a stack of loose leaf and you're hitting the loose leaf with the pen. That's...
Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, take my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. 2 foot, I know, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Home with ya, home with ya, home with ya.
Yeah, like, man, I love so much about this, but I don't love the drums. I think that's the big thing. Get some better drums, like maybe just audition some totally different kicks and snares. I don't think you need like your typical drum and bass snare or your typical whatever, but the snare is just so tiny. Yeah, and that's like Raham says, they sound shit but have some charm to them, and that's like, I feel the same way. They sound shit, but they have some charm to them. And I don't want necessarily, I don't want you to lose that charm, but it needs the technical punch of like a better snare sound and a better kick sound. It's super cool and super weird. I love hearing all these weird tracks that people send in because it's refreshing to hear, you know, like unique stuff like that. So thanks for sending. I would just totally try to revamp the drums. Keep the weirdness, keep the charm, but try to get some more punch in there. All right, Death by Bass. I don't know who sent this one in because it doesn't have their name, but here we go. Oh, this is the one I'm supposed to replace. Okay. Okay, download. See, if you put your name in the title, we wouldn't be here. All right, let me grab that right here, replace. All right. My bad. I had a 7 dB reduction from the last track. So let's try to cleanse our palates and listen again. Thank you, Raham. I think that's who reminded me. I'm sorry. I also had it severely. I'm going insane. Okay, I had a lot of stuff on it. Re-cleansing palette. Here we go. I mean, honestly, that. It can take it. It can take that much compression. I actually like it with that much. This is another super weird track. Okay, that's cool. The melody that comes in here, I think arrangement wise you could start with that or something, because that's cool, but I don't know if it's cool enough to basically just do that dun 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 like until this point. Yeah, okay. This, yeah, I haven't heard the original. Or I might have heard, it kind of vaguely sounds familiar. It's like a meme song or something, right? Um, I think you have lots of cool stuff. Uh, if this is a straight up remix and that's how the original goes and you're trying to stay true, then that's one thing. But it kind of feels stagnant to me because you kind of do the same thing. Like if you dropped it there and went dun, 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 and then came back in with it or something, just to give it a bit of life to it. It's just a bit too static for me. And I think you can go harder on the master because it looks bad. It looks like it's doing some bad things to the track, but it sounds good. So who cares? Yeah. I don't really have any other notes. It sounds cool. It sounds weird. Keep going on it and make the arrangement a little more interesting than just dun 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 dun. Cool. All right. Moving on. We are Zachary Herbst Return. So somebody said it's following the OG, then disregard everything I said. Okay, everything up until that one note I was into. I mean, if it was supposed to stick out and hurt a little bit, then mission accomplished. I really like the melody. It's very nice and easy to listen to. But that one note, those two notes actually, interesting choice. I wouldn't have made the same choice, but that's just me. Mix wise, it's a little bit lacking in the top end. Oh no, I've somehow stuck. What the hell? Go. I somehow stuck the thing on. Yeah, too much. I agree. Too much crackle. Not enough top end, and I think the what is it called? The pulse width, the PWM sound kind of gets old because it's going the entire track. So I don't know. It's hard. This is a unique track, whereas it sounds kind of like a soundtrack or something like that. But I don't know. I'd maybe try swapping out the PWM sound for something maybe more fitting for the track. The track is kind of subdued, right? And then you've got this PWM almost chiptune sound. And I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting choice, but maybe see what happens if you swap that out for something a little less synthy sounding. You know, maybe play that melody on an electric piano or some sort of other track like that. But yeah, melodically it's dope. Except that one note, the two notes there really caught me off guard, and not necessarily in a good way. And yeah, the vinyl crackle is a bit much throughout the track. Yeah, I mean, like a flute or something that's just, I don't know. I think that the PWM chiptune lead thing is just a little out of place in this track, for my taste. But anyway, that's my main thought for that one. And if you love those weird notes, then keep them in. If not, try something else. Cool. All right, next one. Yahweh Mo by Vandalist.
大丈夫でしょ。だって君弱いもん。だって君弱いもん。
Okay, I actually like this. It's so weird. This part I love. I would maybe try a different clap or snare or something. But I love that. Maybe an upbeat sub bass in between. You know what I mean? Boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba. Like bringing an offbeat bass sound in between the kicks would be cool. Also here, having like a distorted 808 or something. Bong. You know what I mean? That would be cool. I think mostly it's lacking in the bottom end because yes, the Kong kick is very Kongy. Oh, is this the guy that makes it? Yeah, I think you're right. This on Caustic. I actually really like this. Did. Oh, I opened up Niztune by accident. Okay, thanks Niztune. God damn. Sorry, I'm not tuning a car right now. If this had like a really disgustingly distorted snare drum, it would go so hard. Like, oh man, I love this. This is so weird. What am I looking for? Drum damage. Damage. DR damage. Like that was actually sick. Yeah, if this embraced the weirdness and just really gave us some disgusting sounds, it would be dope. All right, let me go into my bass folder here real quick. Synth hits, bass, I don't know. No, that's wrong. I don't know, we'll just use this for now. I don't know what the tempo is. I could probably figure it out really easy, but I'm not. I'm going to do it this way instead. Oh, that's not even in time. It's like a triplet. Oh, there's so much cool things you could do with this. This track has a lot of personality, and it is odd. It is definitely odd. I really want it to go even harder. Keep going. If you're making this on Caustic, I don't know what to tell you. I don't remember how to use Caustic, but man, this is a cool and unique track. And if it just went a little bit harder and had a bit more bass in it, it would be dope. It is dope, but it would be more dope. Okay, Westbrook, let's see what we got going on. No Control. Oh, we had Control earlier, and now we have No Control. Okay, first of all, where are these vocals from? Maybe you can answer me that. They're dope. That bass, man, when that bass note hit, I was like, ah. All right, this is really good. I think the snare is a bit loud or a bit harsh or something. Everything in this track is like smooth and gelling. And then the snare just kind of is a bit too abrasive or something, I think. Like, I don't mind the sound of the snare. It might just be too loud. Maybe that's all it is. Yeah, I think the snare fits. I just think it's too loud. Like, it, to me, my personal opinion, when the snare's hitting, it's kind of, I'm listening to it quite loud. And that's when you push things really loud, and then you're gonna figure out what kind of the bottleneck is. And I think the snare is just a little bit too loud. That's all. I also really want Kyle to answer me about the vocals.
I have no control.
Okay, why is the sub range? It feels much louder in these breakdown sections than here. Is that what that is? An ooh woo? I don't know why Kyle is avoiding the question. Like, where are the vocals from? Tell me now. Yeah, I think like snare too loud, and for some reason the sub range feels better in the breakdown, and then it seems to pull back. It almost sounds like two different synths or tracks or something. Internet. Is that where they're from? The internet? I don't know if you're trying to tell me that my internet is shit again, because that's definitely believable. Yeah, this is great, man. I really like this. I think that it could be mastered a little bit more. Just, you know, basically looking at the waveform, we can see that we have a lot of headroom, except this one single transient that is causing the track. What is that? What is this? Is like a one sample wide. I don't know. Yeah, I think the snare could come down. I think the bass could be a little bit deeper or louder during the drops, and then master it a bit better and send her. It's great, man. It sounds really good. It brings a smile to my face. It reminds me of the first time that I heard From Bath with Love by Danny Bird, and that's a good thing. Cool. Let's move on. Vels. This looks like a sausage. Oh, I hate when I do that. Okay, I like musically what's happening here. It's cool. It's very Mortal Kombat or something. I like it. But when you do this, unless, and it's entirely possible that I still, and I do, still have some mastering on. Okay, now let's listen. Still too loud. So like when that pluck sound comes in with the super reverb, it is very the whole track is, I'm just making sure there's no boost. Yeah, the whole track is just very, very loud. Specifically, the snare and the lead thing are like very, very loud, very upfront. I would pull those way back. This part is dope. I really like this part a lot. Like, honestly, the skill level of this sounds like a totally different person than this, which is strange. Yeah, I almost feel like you're trying to hit 2.5 luffs during these sections. And it's kind of harsh because most of the energy is in like the high mids and the high end from the snare and from that lead sound. I'd chill out. And I'd also not, I mean, I don't ever target a specific volume level. I do what the track calls for, right? I think that I think that's the way to go to um just master it for the song and not necessarily compare it against other tracks. Not necessarily go for a a target loudness level unless you're like trying to do a challenge. Like I wonder if I can hit 0 dB RMS or something, right? But I think honestly the drop section is quite cool and the stuff around it. I liked the I liked the intro. I don't really like this section. I wonder if you could just like, to me, you've established the melody or the hook or whatever in this section, right? I kind of feel like you could probably jump right into a little sooner. That other section seemed a little redundant and I didn't really like the sound of it anyway because it was so harsh. But yeah, I think maybe moral of the story is don't try to be quite so loud. Let's take a listen to the other parts. I like that. I like this section so far. Yes, Raham. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be white noise. It could be a sine wave at, I don't know, science. Okay, I like this section. Yeah, this track kind of has multiple personalities. I really like the drops. I don't really like the parts in between that much. I don't really know what to say. I think part of the reason I don't like those other parts is just because they are so loud and in my face kind of unnecessarily. Like they're not the drop section, but they're perceived to be quite loud as the drop section, if not maybe a bit louder because of how bright they are versus how bassy the other ones are. So maybe, like Raham says, it needs some cohesion. Maybe go through and just kind of tear it apart and throw it back together. And again, try not to necessarily go for a certain loudness level. Just go until the track sounds right. Cool track, moving on. Raham, congratulations remix. All right. Oh, this is a Quinn song.
You said you're sorry, but I've got doubts. When you think you know the right thing for everyone else, I used to let you in without a question. Now I'm gonna be cautious. I don't want to love you, don't know how. You can't see that you stress me out. And if we're gonna try again, it's gonna be until I can process. Oh, you and me are one for who has hurt me the most. Here is your red carpet, take your trophy and go.
There's a wrong note. In the piano, there's like a wrong note in there. This is really good though, besides that.
Do what I can, it's not enough. I can't change you, it's not my love. That's
Okay, so basically, this is dope, and I think that the mastering could be a bit louder, as I just demonstrated. I'm missing in the original track. It has a whoosh. Every once in a while. There's certain moments where she says something, and then a clap, like a big like reverbed out clap, happens. I'm kind of missing that. Like I made the original with Quinn, but like, where is it? Let's find it.
what you need, you got it. It's not enough. I can't change you, it's not my love. That's what you need, you gotta see that you're the one, that you need to hold you.
Yeah, there's just some of those moments where in the original, wherever the big clap is kind of like a response to like a line she says, I'm kind of missing those. But yeah, like master needs to be a little louder.
Over me, but that's not your role. Oh, nothing's gonna fix your pain, but healing real slow. You don't even try to. Oh, you and me are one for who has hurt me the most. Here is your red carpet, take your trophy and go. Oh, you want all the focus, here it is, now you know. When you're around, I fall apart, but you don't care, as long as you are the star. Congratulations, congratulations.
Maybe bring in a like a Reese sub bass thing here.
All the star. Congratulations, congratulations. Got what you wanted, you became my inspiration. Congratulations, you're a sensation. Winning when you are the only nomination.
Wow, really blue balls us there. Yeah, this is great, man. I think I heard this in some very early form or something, but this is really good. Like, you should finish this. It's dope. I like it a lot. Just needs to be mastered louder, and that's pretty much it. I don't know. The rest sounds dope. All right, cool. Moving on. Ratinhu. Why can't I pronounce any of these? I'm still here. That was insane. That was crazy. It's very loud in the high mids. The high end is so, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we could just do this. And I'm gonna try to not forget to turn that back off. Yeah, man, it's so cool, but like, man, is it hard on the ears. Like, I was listening to it and I was like, I'm in pain, but I like it. Like, it's very odd. you just got to be careful with those frequencies. They're so whoa. This is nuts. This is nuts. Moment of silence for this track for some reason. That doesn't really apply. This is dope. Like, man, this is so cool. It just needs to not hurt my ears as much. And the second half didn't even really hurt my ears as much. I also don't think it should end there. Like, I don't want this to end. Just keep it going. Make it infinitely minutes long. It's really good. It just, the first half of it is hard on my ears, but the rest of it is really good. Like, keep going, finish this and put it out so I can listen to it. This is dope. I don't know what else to say. This is very cool, very creative, very unique, and very good. And just make the high end a little bit tamer. Cool. Moving on. Last track of the day. This is really fun. It reminds me of maybe the Pink Panther, or like I'm doing some sort of detective work. The snare is, I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. The track is very acoustic sounding, right? You got piano and almost like a stand-up bass or something, and the snare is just kind of boring. The snare is just kind of classic, here's a snare drum. That ride is really riding, you know what I mean? It's right in your face. I would mix like some more electronic style sounds in terms of the drums in with this. You know, maybe do like a glitch hop snare or something like that. Okay, yeah, this is getting good. The hi-hat is like super, it's very high frequency and loud. So this is your hi-hat, and this is the rest of your track. So the hi-hat is very, very loud. That bass is sick, but it's very muffled. It has a lot of character, but we're not hearing the character unless it's by itself because the low end is so loud and the character of the slap is not really present in the mix. Maybe distort it a little bit, maybe a little bit of OTT, you know, like 10, 15%, maybe some EQ curve to bring out the character. Like the high mids and the high end of that bass is what gives the bass its funky slap kind of feel, right? And I know that bass was in there before because I could hear it, but it wasn't cutting through. And there's some elements that are reverbed that are loud in the low mid range. And the low mid reverb, it's whatever's going with the bass line. It's almost like a saxophone or something. Yeah, okay, so there's a lot of energy in those low mids from the piano, the bass, the saxophone thing, and they're all kind of reverbed, and the reverb is loud in the kind of low mids, and it gives the whole track kind of a muffly sound. Fun track though. It's mischievous, I would call it. I wonder what would it sound like if you got rid of the piano over some of the yeah, if the piano went away during some of these drops, I feel like the piano's there the whole time. Yeah, I think, okay, here's my suggestions for this. Be mindful of the low mid-range of all of your elements because they seem to be piling up in this kind of low, I don't know, 100 to 500 hertz range. That's hard to say. So be a little bit more mindful of that stuff. Maybe cut some of those frequencies down in certain elements. Maybe the saxophone doesn't need as much in the 100 to 500 hertz range. Maybe the bass doesn't need quite as much there too. The piano also. They're all kind of piling up in this lower mid section. And then these hi-hats, I like the sound of them, but they are quite a bit too loud in my opinion. Because it's very, like, I'm wondering if whatever you're monitoring on, whether it's headphones or speakers, doesn't have a great high end to them, and maybe you're compensating for that. But you can clearly see in this this curve on the spectrogram that is almost entirely, that big hump there is almost entirely those hi-hats. And maybe a melody. Like, I know that there's the like the little fill thing, but I kind of feel like it's missing like that main memorable melody or motif or something. Yeah, it has room. Like if maybe you did that and then you stripped it back to less rides, maybe it's just Maybe it's just the bass burn, 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 and the kick and the snare and a closed hi hat. So it gets tighter, and then you introduce some sort of melody or something, and it interacts with the diddle do 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 do. You don't know how to make melodies? Well, I mean, there's melodies in here. So you clearly do know how to make melodies. It's just you might feel a little insecure about your melodies, but the only way that you're going to get better is by doing it. So I would go. Yeah, I would just try. Just who cares? Throw in some melodies, play some notes. If you can't play on a keyboard, just click in some notes. I mean, most of my stuff I click in by hand, so nothing wrong with that. But yeah, the biggest offender I think is the hi-hats being too loud and the rest of the instruments having a lot of piled up energy in that low mid range. But besides that, it's a fun track. Yeah, I can hear like a lot of reverb on the saxophone, and I think that's also contributing to that low mid problem because you've got the reverb, even though you only have a little bump, a little stab, the reverb fills in the rest of the space with the low mids. Yeah, cool track. All right. That was definitely a very interesting list of tracks. I know that some other people sent me some tracks. I will get to them next week because I have to go eat dinner with my family for Easter. So thanks a lot, guys, for sending in your tracks. It's always a pleasure to hear what you have been working on. And I will see you in the next one. Again, big shout out to the sponsor, this ham and cheese sandwich. It's delicious. And thank you for making the stream possible. Thanks. All right. Happy Easter or happy long weekend if you're not into that sort of thing. And I will see you next time.